Good evening, everybody. It is the 9th of February, 2026, day 9 of Freedom from Fascism February. Y'all, it's working. You know, this is actually being reported on. This is Scott Galloway's Resist and Unsubscribe is being reported on, even I see down in the Tennessean. So even that, big cities like Nashville are taking notice. When I started this myself, when I started the Resist Fascism February and calling for folks to boycott Amazon, that's my big push. Now, Scott Galloway, like I said, he's pushing for not just Amazon, but that he is pushing big for that one to be boycotted, but a few others too. Well, y'all, this again is the Hillbilly Think Tank, and I am Spencer Kett coming at you live from Tunnel Hills here in Kentucky, and I am the educated hillbilly. No, that's not an oxymoron. Don't call me a moron, please. Remember, over here, we're dedicated to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And we know that nothing else is more honorable than service to our neighbors. This is a lifelong mission of mine, and I'm just trying to keep it up by running for magistrate in the 3rd district, and also by keeping us all up to date on things that are really going on. So in that vein, like to just tag on a little bit, because Scott Galloway, the economist, is one who came up with Resist and Unsubscribe. He was talking about it for quite some time before he actually made the website that has that, and I will put that up here. So resistandunsubscribe.com. Putting that up on the screen now. See a few folks here tuned in. I'll give a little hello to real quick in a bit. But resist and unsubscribe, guys. They're not coming to rescue us. Now, I'm running for office, but I know that neither the Republicans nor the Democrats on their own are going to come rescue us. We have to have a network. It has to be a network of folks who are dedicated to, a little bit of discomfort. That's what, getting off of Amazon for a month will do to you. And it's not a full month. Remember, this is the short month. That's why I picked February. Only got 28 days. Some people can go without a lot of things for 28 days. I've even known some, religious nuts to fast that long. But, we've got to do it. We've got to have a fast from Amazon, an abstinence from Amazon. Let that Jeff Bezos know we're not taking it anymore. Now, again, I say someone told me that, that would be cutting off their nose to spite their own face if they got off of Amazon. Well, man, what else are we going to do? I don't want to watch my kids lined up and sent away to the gulag. I would rather 3.5% of us here in America, 5%, stick it to them. And it's already working. Amazon stocks are down by 10%. Jeff Bezos is getting the fucking point. No matter how much they want to act like this movie Melania is making them money, it's not. That was just helping Melania Trump have her own grift. Barron Trump's got his own grift. All the Trump babies have their own grift, along with the biggest orange baby there is. And as long as we allow them to grift, they are going to keep on profiting off of ICE. And Amazon profits off of ICE. Where the fuck do you think they get their so-called tactical gear for those gravy seals? They're not getting it from a mom and pop surplus store. And you don't think that Blue Origins is grifting off the government? They sure as heck are. As Scott Galloway points out, when Hitler rose to power and the Reich rose to power, yeah, there were a lot of oligarchs, millionaires, businessmen. They didn't like fascism, Nazism, but they did like the fact that they got to pay people less money because the unions were busted by the Nazis. They loved that shit. And that's what we got going on right now. So are you going to do like the Germans did, you know, buy the Volkswagens, buy the BMWs while the Reich is in power and let the Fuhrer be your advertiser? Because that's what Amazon's doing. They're just advertising through their MGM Amazon Melania movie, if you want to call it that. But they're not giving us anything worthwhile to our life. And once again, we can survive without Amazon. We did it before 2005, 2015, when it came to its ascendancy. You know, I remember the days of going to record stores and browsing for hours in college for records, going with my best friend late at night in Nashville, back when Tower Records was open until really late. You could sit there and actually listen to a record in the store. I remember the days when it was a group thing to go to the mall and shop. That's how kids entertain themselves, not by sitting on Twitter, on social media, and ordering crap on Amazon all day long. You actually went out. It was an interaction of humans, one with another, fellowshipping and going out. And you might not even buy anything back then when you were kids. Who had that much money? But the malls were still surviving. Mom and pop shops downtown, you know, still surviving back in the days when we used to go shop for people in our local businesses. We got to get back to local businesses. Amazon had taken a 10% hit. That's just sending Jeff Bezos a gut check, making him think a little bit. We need to be more than 10%. Just like Musk's stocks in Tesla fell once everyone realized they had been supporting this Nazi with his salute that we all know was a Nazi salute. Once we knew who that guy was, liberals weren't buying his crap anymore. There's plenty of other manufacturers that aren't Nazi that make electric vehicles and better ones than Tesla. My Chevy Bolt is a darn good EV. I've gone from Kentucky all the way to New Hampshire in it. I've gone from Kentucky all the way to northern Wisconsin in it. I don't need Musk. I don't need the fascist. I don't need Jeff Bezos as much as I have spent so much of my time using his music, you know, for Prime Music, watching movies on Prime, making a video collection stored in Prime, listening to books on Audible, buying books online with Amazon. But I have got to get off my addiction to fascism. And hey, I'm 9 days into it, and it's going well. I've been buying local. meeting people when I'm out and about, buying local, having conversations with regular neighbors, regular people, not just sitting as if I'm in a cocoon and the world doesn't matter to me while I'm typing away, ordering crap. Man, get out. There's a life out there. Everything has to be convenient. As I said last night, we don't have to kill ourselves with convenience. We've killed ourselves with the convenience of Teflon pans who've poisoned us. We've killed ourselves with plastic bottles that are poisoning all of us and the oceans. Let's realize convenience kills. Let's inconvenience ourselves for a bit so we can have the convenience of keeping our goddamn democracy. Go look at Scott Galloway's Resist and Unsubscribe pages. He talks about how our democracy has been in decline for a decade. So again, they're not coming to rescue us. We have to network together, and we can't do it by fucking buying from these oligarchs and investing in fascism. All we're doing by using these oligarchs' products is investing in fascism, just like the Third Reich did. That's what fascism's all about. Give businesses all the power over the people and make them slaves to businesses. Now, I'm not talking small businesses. I'm not talking mom and pop joints. Those are what we need. But these mega businesses, we don't need to be slaves to them. We need to take care of our own folks in our own county, in our own town, in our own block, in our own neighborhood. Buy local. Buy really local. That's what I'm doing. And I'm really feeling proud of myself. Hey, if you still want to order online, but do it from a small business and order directly from them. You know, I recently got into Oath Nation, shirt that I'm wearing now, patch on my hat, Oath Nation. It's a group of veterans who are actually giving real news. They make some really cool shirts and patches. I buy directly from them. I don't even know if they sell through Amazon, but if they do, I'm not buying from it. You can go through Shopify. Get away from Amazon. You know, pay through Shopify. You can buy all kinds of stuff, all kinds of online manufacturers or manufacturers that you can either buy in a store or you can buy online. You don't have to go through Amazon. I'm using Shopify now. And I'm helping Oath Nation. And Oath Nation is giving real independent reporting about real news, worldwide and national. And this is veterans that are actually not drinking the Kool-Aid, but they're questioning what's going on because they know no one's coming to rescue us but us. We've got to push the politicians to do what they don't want to do. Martin Luther King wasn't an elected official. He made a change. You can look at quite a few other events in our history. It wasn't the politicians that made the change. They had to follow along with the people. We need to get the people back in front of the cart again, pulling the cart, leading the cart, not the cart in front of the ox. All right, who do I got on here tonight? We got Coffee Cats. Hope everyone's doing well. Hey, I agree there. I hope everyone's doing well. So far, so good. Oh, I got quite a few folks on tonight. Awesome. Maybe my 6 o'clock time has been too early. Jonathan says, what's up, fam? What's up, Jonathan? Tom Armstrong, is that your flintlock in the foreground? Yes. This is my family, not just flintlock. This is a not a flintlock, actually. This is a Kentucky long rifle. This is the rifle that my family went all through this part of the nation and helped settle it with that rifle. Who knows what this rifle has done? I'm sure it's fed my family for generations. I know it's fought in wars against tyrants. That's why it's here. That's the tyrant blocker right there. Kentucky windage and Kentucky long rifle. This is a family heirloom. That's what that is. Thanks for asking, Tom. Tom, I have never been fond of Bezos World. It seems a nuisance for a long time. Well, yeah, I can't say that I've called it a nuisance. Of course, Tom, you know that I couldn't find some of the stuff that you told me I needed for my bike. Well, I couldn't say I couldn't find. I didn't use my footwork to go find stuff at an actual bike shop like I should have. And I bought stuff online before February when you first started helping me with bikes. No more. That'll be my next thing. Once payday comes around, I'm going to go to a bike shop, buy some stuff there so that I can, again, cut myself off from fascism, have a place to supply myself for the lubrication and chains, things like that for my bikes. My bikes need a little more tune-up. I'm glad you said that. It should be a nuisance for me, and I'm trying to make it a nuisance for me. I definitely want to make it a nuisance for Bezos that I'm not sucking on his tit anymore. Tom, I have gotten stuff from there, but it was awkward at best. Tom, you're doing better than me. Michael Whitaker, Trump's equals Kardashians of politics. Ooh, man. Ain't that a great saying? I'll have to see if I can write that one down. Be sure and text that to me, Mike, so I can start using that all the time. Trump's equal the Kardashians of politics. Of course, some people love Kardashians, and there we go. Some people love Trumps. Not us, right? Michael Whitaker, I remember when a gun drop cost a nickel. Yeah, I can remember living in for a bit with my stepdad, that evil son of a gun. Mom married him. We went to Austin, Texas, and he had made this little gas station into a burrito joint. Right next to it was a 7-Eleven, and I found a quarter. I was so happy that day in the 70s. I'm like, yes, I'm going to go buy some of my own candy since we never have any money to do so. I go into the store, pick up the Milky Way, take it to the counter, and like, no, it cost 35 cents. All I have is 25. I'm like, no, it says 25. It's like, no, I'm changing it right now. I'm supposed to have already changed it to 35 cents. It costs 35 cents. Yeah. I don't know if I remember the nickel time there, Mike. I know you're not that much older than me. You're actually a little bit younger. All right, Tom, I've been on something of a book buying binge lately, and every book I bought, I got from a local bookseller. Hey, and I'm on that same deal too. You know, I've always liked actually going to a bookshop and get it in my hand anyway. I have bought books, too many books probably, on Amazon, but I buy far more from bookstores. But I'm going to make sure, because now we've got a used bookstore that I've talked about on here before down the square in Elizabethtown, and it's attached to the vintage record store, LP store. But I'm going to keep on. Hey, I'm going to help out Barnes and Noble too, since we got one here in town, and I know they're about to go under. It seems like every other week I hear, oh, are they doing good or are they doing bad because of Amazon? I want to make sure they both do good. But yeah, I agree. Oh, and of course, Louisville has a really good local bookstore down there on Baxter. Mike, New Hampshire people are a-holes. Oh man, I know those a-holes from New Hampshire. Man, that's Mike's joke and my joke, since he's originally from New Hampshire. Now living it up on his VA retirement in Mexico. Coffee Cats. Hey, y'all. Hope everyone's doing well. Sunbum. He doesn't like the fact that I loved Bad Bunny, and I'm about to get to that. I haven't got to that part of my discussion yet. That's all right. You can call me an idiot, but I'm not a MAGA idiot. I actually missed Green Day. I thought that Green Day was going to be playing with Bad Bunny. I didn't realize it was going to be the pre-show, so I got to go back and watch that. I think I recorded the whole Super Bowl, so hopefully I get to go watch Green Day, see what I missed there. But I'm going to come to it. Let's see. Tom, Kentucky Gun Co. sells some good stuff online, and they have two stores, one in Bardstown and one in Louisville. And their Freedom Seed prices are comparable to online prices for other vendors. Yeah, agreed. I went and got some things there the other day. I won't advertise what they were online, but yeah, I like them. But here in Hardin County, we've also got quite a few great gun shops that I like to use just as well too. And some bum says no Hispanic like him. Some bum, I don't know who you're talking about because my wife's Hispanic and she loved the show last night. And kids in my classroom, got quite a few Hispanic kids that I teach, they loved him. I used him as an example of the power of positivity today. We'll talk about that now. All right, some bum, you just want to keep on going and on, huh? He did not wear any skirt last night. Yeah, he might have before, but who gives a flying hoot? All right, y'all. If you didn't see it, that was, to me, one of the best halftime shows in a long time. I can think back to, I loved it when, I don't know, who's my favorite halftime show? This one's definitely up there. Well, this is definitely one of the up there. It was just the power of positivity. I've got a quote from Martin Luther King on my wall. Hate doesn't, was it drive away hate? Love drives away hate, or something very similar to that. I pointed out to my kids, that's the exact same thing Bad Bunny said at the Grammys when he talked about being above it all and keeping love in the front, even when they give you hate. Hey man, there was a big guy that had part of the book that I used to read growing up. That was the Red Letter edition. That's what that guy that spoke in the red letters used to always talk about, love being stronger than hate. He even gave his life for it, from what I hear. But I wish I could figure out how to play a clip last night from the banner right at the end of the concert, And Bad Bunny had it up there, love is greater than hate, And that it just really is. It's hard to remember that. Now, I also got a patch that says, don't mistake my kindness for weakness, So if you're going to be hateful and try to hurt those that I love, that'll be a mistake. I love everybody unless you're hurting those that I love. But I think that Martin Luther King, Gandhi, all the folks who really stuck by that message in our history, they've been the most powerful. Medgar Evers. Go on down the line. The folks that have meant it so much and given so much for love over hate and the power of love over hate. Yeah, they've done more than anyone else to help this whole world, not just this nation. All right, well, before I close out here, to go back to Freedom from Fascism February, it's going to take these billionaires and millionaires that own the big corporations realizing we mean what we say. and that the little bit of money that we have is not going to go feed their fascism anymore. Guys, it's only 28 days. Hell, if you start now, you get a late start, won't even hurt as much. But put it where it counts. Let's send our boots up in an area where the sun don't shine in Bezos's netherworlds, right? Let him realize we will not take any more of him supporting these goons in the streets. When he supports the orange baboon, he's supporting the goons, and he knows it. Now, Scott Galloway reports that, because Scott Galloway is a millionaire, and he reports that owners of corporations have in private talked to him, like about a quarter of them said, hey, you know that I don't support ICE and what they're doing to people. He's like, hey, but you haven't said anything out loud. You haven't pushed back. And Amazon was one of the companies that he predicted would be very hot commodity to buy on the stock market in 2026. But he's saying, hey, unsubscribe from it, hurt their stocks. Make that hot stock realize it's not too hot for us to unhandle. Please, for the sake of our children, they've got bunkers. They've got private islands. They've got Learjets and yachts that they can float away on and fly away on at a moment's notice. They set us off into a civil war. They're not going to stay around. They're going to let us kill each other. And they'll come back to sort out the scraps once we do that. So fucking get off this shit for just a fucking little while. Show them that we mean what we fucking say. And if we really think that love can conquer hate, it can't do it with bullets. That's just going to create more hate for more generations on both sides of this fucking thing. Hell, we're still not over the fucking Civil War. How the fuck is another Civil War going to make things better? Now, again, mind you, you come after my family, after my friends, after my neighbors, I'm not backing down. But I don't want it to come to that. And it doesn't have to. All we have to do is get off of sucking the tit of Jeff Bezos. He's rich enough. He's going to talk to all of his other cronies and say, hey guys, my stock is hurting. I feel bad. Me hurts. Let's tell this orange baboon to stop. That's the only thing that will do it. Look at the bus boycott in Montgomery. That was supposed to be a one-day boycott. One day didn't do anything. Went over a year. That hurt the people that were boycotting it, but it really hurt those rich motherfuckers who wanted their nannies, their house cleaners, their servants to get from the poor side of town over to the rich side of town to do their dirty work. It took over a year of rich women having to clean their own house or drive all the way across to the part of town that they didn't want to go to pick up their house cleaners and drive them to their house, which of course meant being in the same car with someone of the opposite color if they did that, which they didn't want to do. So make these rich folks feel it again. Okay? That's what we got to do. It's the only thing that's going to work. All right, Tom, let's see what you got to say before I sign off here. Tom says, I have studiously avoided watching the Super Bowl in real time for years. I don't want to contribute to the ratings. Well, you know what? That's the only time I ever watch football is for the Super Bowl because I like the halftime shows and I like the ads. I married someone who's a sports fan, so I actually started watching football more once I got married. But this year, since her team left San Diego, went to LA, we haven't hardly watched football. Well, we didn't watch football this year until the Super Bowl. And yeah, halftime show, man, it was on point. It was really about celebrating the fact that, hey, Puerto Rico is American. I can't believe how many people don't realize that. Puerto Rico is part of America. Bad Bunny is American. He was celebrating Puerto Rico, just like I celebrate Kentucky. I fucking love Kentucky. He loves Puerto Rico. If I go back to, hanging out with my people and start talking with a hillbilly accent, oh, people will look down on me. But it is what it is. I'm still American. I'm Kentucky. Bad Bunny is American, and he's Puerto Rican both, just like I'm Kentuckian and I'm American. So it was a great halftime show. It was all about positivity and the power of positivity and celebrating the culture. That's what it's all about. All right. And Tom said, Bad Bunny put on a great show from all accounts, and I'll spend time on the show at some point. Yeah, just go on. You can see it on YouTube. I pulled it up for my kids today, who are primarily kids that can relate to Bad Bunny. A lot of them from areas right around Puerto Rico. And just talked about, hey, we can have the power of negativity, which we've got on one side, the hateful people, and we've got the power of positivity. And that's all Bad Bunny did was give a shout out to love, conquering hate, and being greater than hate. Just like Martin Luther King did, just like Gandhi did, just like Jesus Christ did. Yeah, I agree with you, Tom. I'm not a big American football fan, but yeah, I can see you not wanting to associate your name with it. That's cool. Tom, I don't know why I'm the only one who has hit the like button on your video so far. Thanks for mentioning that, Tom. Guys, if you don't mind, please hit the like button. And if you just type in 8 words in the comments in YouTube there, that helps me possibly get an algorithm, which will possibly help me reach more voters. All right, what did Coffee Cat said? Halftime show was fantastic. I loved it. Me too. It was cool to at least have one hater on here tonight and trying to claim that he's Hispanic and that no Hispanics like Bad Bunny. That's just freaking hilarious, since Bad Bunny is making more money than anyone else is in showbiz right now. And yeah, I know a lot of Hispanics that like him. So anywho, y'all, that's what else can we roll out with? Power of positivity, true positivity, being truly positive, truly spreading love and caring for our neighbor. So I'll just sign off with that, y'all, right? Because we're dying to see meaningful change, but they're not coming to rescue us. We got to rescue ourselves by coming together, buying local, quit sucking the tit of Jeff Bezos. And if you go to resist and unsubscribe, he'll tell you how to unsubscribe from other oligarchs also. But I'm really going myself full in on bringing down Jeff Bezos quite a few notches so that he will push back against the orange orangutan dictator. Remember, y'all, in Kentucky, united we stand, divided we fall. If we love our neighbors as ourselves, if we truly do that, we're only going to be united and we can never fall. And if we remember, hey, it's all about life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, then we're going to want that for our brothers and for our sisters. We're going to remember we are our brother's keeper and we are our sister's keeper. Y'all, bless your corazón, which that last word means heart in Spanish. Have a great night. Bye, local.
Are you cold? Are you cold? Oh my God.